What's up, guys? It's Chad here with Juvies coming through my driveway today. I'm super excited because I got two new fishing poles for review for my upcoming fishing trip. So stay tuned right after this. Let's just say being a YouTuber sometimes has perks. We do a lot of reviews on this channel. Majority of the stuff is all purchased by myself and my brother Scott for review purposes, but every now and again something happens. See these two rod and reels behind me? I reached out to Penn and pleaded my case for potential review purposes and obviously reviews with the reels and rods, and also I'm doing a review on American Patriot fishing charters coming up real shortly. So long story short, I got these two for testing purposes. So here we go. On the tailgate, all right, we have the Penn Spinfisher VII, the 6500 live liner. And then over here we have the Penn Spinfisher VII 8500. Now, these aren't just reels, these are rod and reel combos. I love rod and reel combos because a lot of times you can get the most bang for your buck out of a combo for the same price of just buying the reel. So obviously these are Penn combos, okay, so you know you're not getting garbage. All right, I'm going to go over the specs, and I'm going to go over the reels and how I like about them, and a couple of things I'm going to be putting on and using to fish with. So here we go. First one up. All right, so this is probably going to be the one that I'm going to use the most on my upcoming fishing trip. All right, this is the 6500 live liner. Okay, now I'm going to go over quick specs. Nothing too fancy about it. All right, the 7 is the newest version of the Spinfisher. Okay, Spinfisher sits right in the middle of the lineup with Penn. You have things like the Fierce, the Wrath, the Battle that are under this, and then you have the let me see, the Slammer and the Authority that are better models than this. So this kind of sits right in the middle, and also same price point wise. All right, real quick. So this is a 5+1 ball bearing system. Okay, so we'll just go over the line. Mono, we got 15 pounds at 345 yards, and the braid we have 40 pounds of 410 yards. So obviously this day and age it is a no-brainer to use braided line. Okay, this is historically the first model that actually gets sealed ball bearings. Okay, I believe they just added the sealed ball bearing system to the Battle, which is the one right below this. All right, what makes this so special, the live liner model, as you can see right here, you have a lever on the back. It says less and more. Now I'm just going to go over quick how that works. So when you flip it to live liner, okay, do you hear that? All right, when you go down more clicks, it gives you a little bit more drag on the live line model, okay? But the difference between this and just setting your drag, okay, or opening your bail for live line is that, let's say you pitch a pilchard out into the water, okay? You know those little pilchards aren't going to have a whole lot of pull to them, okay? So if you just set your drag, you're going to have to set it real low for them to have a natural swim, okay? But if you want to set it to the lowest setting, all right, that right there is super loose, okay? And your bail's still closed, okay? Now, as soon as something grabs on, watch that lever, okay? It goes back, it goes back, and then it's back on your normal drag. You hear the difference? So that's the benefit of the live line compared to a standard. All right, so let's go over the rod. Okay, this is actually a Penn Spinfisher VII branded combo. I don't know if you can really make out the lettering right here or not, but we got it is the SSVII 1530 S70. Okay, so it's a heavy fast, holds 15 to 30 pound mono or 20 to 50 pound braid. Okay, again, it's a heavy rod. So it does have actually a nice action. I'm just barely flicking it, but as you can see, it's not super solid, but this is going to be perfect for what I'm doing. Okay, so again, this is the review on the 6500 live liner, a super awesome, super smooth reel. All right. next up on the review table here, again, we're out here in direct sunlight, so I apologize if this thing is shining back. Okay, this is going to be my big reel and rod for this trip. Okay, this is the, again, 8500. So this one's a big boy. All right, we'll go over that. The mono is 30 at 310 yards. Or braid, we got 50 at 600 yards. Okay, so again, no brainer is going to be, I'm putting braid on this bad boy. All right, again, this is a 5-in-1 ball bearing system. Has the exact same IPX5 sealed ball bearings that the other one has. And again, both of these do have the rubber on the spool for braid. Okay, now I don't know if you've ever looked into Penn's drag system, but essentially Penn has what I consider the best drag system on the market. Okay, I believe each of these has a 40-pound max drag, which comparing to its competition, Shimano, etc., that is way higher. Okay, again, that's that. This does not have the live liner system, but it does have an amazing drag. Okay, now we're going to go over the rod on this combo. All right, again, it's a Spinfisher branded rod. This one is the SSVII 2040 S70. All right, so it's going to be a 7-foot, heavy, fast, 20 to 40 pound mono, or 30 to 65 pound braid. So this one, for a spinning combo, this one is pretty heavy. So I'm going to do the same thing. All right, so obviously this one has a lot less give to it as the other one. And what I forgot to show on the live liner is the butt of the pole here. All right. I don't know if you can see this or not. This does have a cover with the buttstock to put into a belt, which is awesome. All right, I forgot to show that on the live liner, what it has. Not quite as heavy duty, but it does have, this one's a rubber. The other one's metal, this one's rubber. All right, that's that. Now, again, the handles on all these Spinfishers, in my opinion, are what I like the best. This is a rubberized T-handle. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. I like the rubberized T-handle because when your hands are full of water and grease and oil, fish guts, whatever have you, this is going to be the best grip. I know some of the more expensive reels actually have a metal knob, but I really do like the rubber. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, this is what I'm using on these right now. I'm not really sponsored by Reaction Tackle, but all of my current poles have Reaction Tackle braid. Now, what I'm putting on the live liner, this is going to be, well, it doesn't really say it on here, but it's going to be 40-pound test. Okay, 40-pound braid. On my big one, we have, let's see what we got here. We got 65-pound braid. Now, I want to draw your attention to something new they just came out with, and that is red, white, and blue line. So I think that's awesome. Patriotic. I've always ran camo line. Okay, so as far as fishing goes, the fish don't see the line, guys. Come on now. Anyways, so this is what I'm going to be using. Okay, so American Patriot. It's going to be a 3-day fishing trip to the Dry Tortugas. And it's pretty much going to essentially be a party boat with, bottom fishing. All right, most guys are going to be bringing some heavy boat rods and things, targeting grouper, snapper, maybe some jacks, things like that, some mangrove snappers, whatever have you. So I don't necessarily think we're going to be hooking anything gigantic, but what I'm going to be doing for the trip is I'm going to be dropping these to the bottom. Okay, we're going to be in probably 200 to 450 foot of water. So this right here, this is a 200 gram. It's about 7 1/4 ounce. Essentially, you drop it down straight down there and jig it up and drop it down. So I really do think that this setup is going to be perfect for the trip I'm on. Just for case in point, this is currently my biggest saltwater pole that I own. Okay. Again, I've historically bought less expensive fishing gear. This is a Intrepid by Shakespeare. And I'll be honest with you, I've had this since I was in high school, and I'm pushing 40 now. This thing has caught me tons of fish. As you can see back, this is my camo reaction tackle braided line. Again, no problems whatsoever catching fish. This is actually the exact same setup and leader. I haven't gotten, I've cleaned it off, but same leader I caught that sailfish on. Okay. This is a 6000 series, and this is 40-pound braid. So I haven't had any trouble. So this is, again, it's a 7-foot, medium heavy. We got 15 to 40 pounds, and the lure size is 1/2 ounce to 4 ounce. So I just realized I forgot to show you something. Okay, obviously the sealed ball bearings is a big deal these days. It's kind of a selling point for many manufacturers. Okay, they're pretty much pushing the sealed ball bearings. I've never had a reel that had sealed ball bearings, but at the price point some of these poles come in at, guys, the sealed ball bearings. Okay, so that's the inside of the spool here. All right, so what we're looking at, okay, hopefully you can see this in the sun. You see this right here? This actually has a plate with a seal. Looks like an O-ring, but a seal that's underneath this cap. Now what this does is, in saltwater conditions, again, hope you can see that on the camera, if this thing gets soaking wet with salt water, or you're using it as a surf reel or something, and water gets underneath of that into here, it's not going to go down into the gear set and rot it out. Okay, obviously this is brand spanking new. You can see how nice and smooth that is. But yeah, so that is the IP-X5 sealed ball bearing system right there. And something else that I absolutely love is that the drag cap is captured, so it's not going to fall off. I have made that mistake a couple times, trying to loosen the drag and loosen it a little too much, and the cap fell off. So kudos to Penn. Look how gorgeous that milling is on that. But it's captured. Well, that is the conclusion of my initial review of the Penn Spinfisher VII 6500 live liner combo and the 8500 combo. For action video of my upcoming trip, please subscribe to the channel, and you'll see that video out shortly. It's about another week and a half away. But again, it's American Patriot Fishing Charter, and hopefully we catch some big old fish. So stay tuned. Bye.